Welcome back everybody, and the update has now gone live. Apologies for not doing a patch note video. I've not been too well the last couple of days and my voice is only just returning back to normal. So yeah, first of all, I've noticed that I'm still at max level 200. So what I will do first is I will show you the new Guardians. We'll go through their kits as a showcase, as we always do. So there's Simba and there's Wally. Look at that, 10k health and 9k defense. That's quite high. So let's get straight into his kit. Kingly Command on the core ability. Immune to stun, that's pretty nice. Simba resists 30% basic and heavy attack damage from melee and tank enemies. So you're going to need a range, and well, yeah, just a range to do something decent to him. Enthralling Flare special ability. Cooldown 15 seconds, so it's amongst the highest. Simba deals 400% damage to enemies in front of him, then gains indestructible buff and lures all enemies for 5 seconds. So it sounds like he's already going into the lure team, and it's going to be great to, I'm already imagining lots of different team comps that this is going to be useful for. While Simba's lure is active, he's immune to knockback except from special abilities and gains 15% armor when hit by a heavy attack or special ability from a melee or a tank enemy. So he's shaping up to be quite decent just from using his special. And when his lure expires, Simba knocks back all enemies in a circle around him. And the Signet ability, as always, locked at 4-star, and this is at max. Simba deals 200% damage to enemies knocked back by his special ability. So that all of that will stay the same. It'll be 200 just from unlocking the Sig. And this is where the Sig play comes into it, where everything is underlined. When hit by a melee or tank enemy while lure is active, Simba gains a 20% attack buff that will be at max Sigs. That lasts for 6 seconds. Max stacks at 3. Let's get the talents. Luminous Hide on the basic, which is defense. And the other one is attack. So here's where his uniqueness comes into play. Radiant Diversion. When an enemy is attacking Simba, other allies, basic and heavy attacks deal an additional 50% damage to that target. Solar Shielding. Simba gains 15% armor at the start of an encounter. The amount of armor Simba gains from his special ability is increased by an additional 10%. Blinding Lights. When Simba's lure expires, melee and tank enemies adjacent to Simba become dizzy for 8 seconds if they are not already dizzy, reducing their chance of landing basic attacks and heavy attacks against other allies by 50%. So he's already sounding OP. He's already got a mix of lots of other different Guardians with all of these different mechanics coming into his kit. Alluring Vanguard. Each time Simba is hit by an attack from a melee or tank while his lure is active, other allies gain 10% armor. So yeah, he's shaping up to be very, very good, actually. I wasn't expecting him to be that good. But yeah, I can see him being one of the top tanks, just based on his kit, just on paper. But of course, we have to see how that shakes out and how well these talents are when they are scaling. So let's get straight into Wally. Let's hope he is just as good. But again, I kind of hope he isn't, because I don't really want to be working 2 more tanks. But that will likely be the case. Okay, so he's already on the base stats a little bit weaker at 9,200 on the health. Simba was at 10k. And he's on 8-4 on the defense. And Simba was around just over 9. So we've got Recycle Cycle on the core ability. Immune to wound and poison. Wally cannot be healed by allies or other effects. When Wally is the target of a heal effect, he gains 5% armor. Interesting. Whenever a buff on Wally expires, he gains 5% armor. Every 10 seconds, Wally gets a 5% defense buff for 10 seconds. Right, okay, so there's quite a bit to unpack there. Wally cannot be healed by allies or other effects. When Wally is the target of a heal effect, he gains 5% armor. I mean, okay, so ideally you want someone with a low heal. I mean, it might be good to pair Mike up with him, who can heal like every, 5 seconds if you throw the heavy that way. Interesting. Special ability, Full Tank. Wally gains 5% debuffs for 5 seconds, maximum stacks at 5 as well. Then Wally knocks back all enemies around him. Okay, so it's all about these armor and these defense stacks with him. And again, Trickle Charge, the signature ability. When Wally is the target of a heal effect, he gains a heal charge. Oh, okay. Max stacks at 3. If he uses his special ability when he has 3 heal charges, all heal charges are removed and he is healed for 25% HP. That is huge. So already, I can kind of see him being Sig reliant, just so you can get the healing on top of all the other defense and all of the armor perks he has. And those are just off his abilities. So, yeah, he's shaping up to be quite mean. I would say he is Sig reliant. He might not be, depending on how all the others shake out. But I'm going to go with he is being Sig reliant, just as a first guess. Reinforced Tread is he's got 2 on this. Grants 20% defense at the start of an encounter. Wally's basic attacks break Chroma Stones in a single hit. Rubberized Underlay. Grants 20% health at the start of an encounter. If an enemy with a shock is defeated, Wally gains 1 junk buff for 10 seconds, maximum stacks of 10. A buff unique to Wally. Junk buffs are treated as a 0% attack buff. Okay. Okay, so here we get into his other kit. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. I'm sure we've all heard that at some point in our lives. So, reduce. Whenever an enemy with a buff is defeated, Wally has a 100% chance gaining a junk buff for 10 seconds, max stacks at 10. Reuse. Whenever an ally's buff expires or is purged, Wally grants them 5% armor. Recycle. If an enemy has a buff removed or purged, Wally has some junk bunch. Is that the same as that? That's the purge one. If it's removed or purged, whenever a buff expires or is purged. Alright, okay, so that's expires or purged. That one is just removed or purged. And then Junk Collector. Each time an enemy's debuff is removed, expires, or is cleansed, so that's all of them, Wally has a 100% chance to gain a junk buff for 10 seconds. If an enemy has a buff purged, Wally grants all allies 5% armor. Okay, so a lot of them talents kind of read the same there. So he is going to require a lot of testing to actually figure out the very minor differences between them. But it's revolved around getting all of those junk buffs and then finding out what they do properly. So that's his profile picture. Gotta say, I'm not a fan of that one. And these are the 2 new Guardians. So as soon as I can, and it's not very long, I will give you the first gameplay impressions, see what they're like, and yeah, I'll be able to give you guys a much better opinion of what I think of the brand new Guardians. Until next time, take it easy now.